guru, equity guru, Chris
Going
Parry
topless.
is. What is happening here?
I'm just enjoying the last couple of days of sunshine in the fakey inflatable hot tub before we wrap it all up and rug up and indulge in more Yule logs, as I see behind you.
Right? For those who are listening on the podcast and can't see it, I literally have a fireplace log on my TV screen in my background here, and Chris is sitting in a hot tub with two vehicles parked behind you. You're even cooler than I could have ever imagined looking at the vehicles behind you.
Yeah, that's we go to a lot of trouble to put the right backdrops in place at Equity Guru.
You've zoomed your room to perfection, my friend. Let's talk about some optimism in the fall here. I'm getting busier because you're making me busy. What's going on?
Well, everyone keeps telling me it's a down market and that it's the end times and we're about to go into a global mega recession and blah blah blah. I don't know, man. I've been hearing it for the last year now, and we keep not doing it. Like, gas prices are, at rocket fuel levels, but it's more incentive to buy a Tesla, I guess.
Indeed. I do enjoy my Prius Prime plug-in, I have to say. That's not an ad. That's just me saying, for people who were early consumers or adapters to that, are also paying keen attention to the required ingredients to make the battery in said vehicle. There's a lot of discussion around that.
Yeah. So we for about a year and a half now, we've been pretty heavy on battery metals at Equity Guru, sort of looking at the various components that are required to make green energy actually operate. It's all well and good to have windmills and solar panels, but when the sun's not shining and the wind's not blowing, you need somewhere to store the energy so that you can still watch your Yule logs and power your hot tub. So batteries are all the more important. And so we've been, I guess, infamously talking up a company called Corp for a while that's getting perilously close to creating some battery metal production. And their stock, I think, since we've been talking about it, went from about 80 cents to $1.70. It's back down to about $1.25 now. But in a down market, if you can go from 80 cents to $1.25, I feel like that'll pay for a few ex-wives.
You make this so fun for me. Pay for a few ex-husbands too, if you're not careful. Right. I can't get over the following you on social media. If people don't follow Chris Parry on social media, you got to follow the guru. You got to follow Equity Guru. You got to surf equity.guru and read and learn about what it is that we do. Some people are only meeting you through me, which I think is hilarious. You and I go way, way back. And I follow along on how you come at things. And when there's a company that you are doing your due diligence on, there's not like you locked arm with the company and going to find a way to make it all sound like rainbows and unicorns. You're the guy that's actually going to say, this is what's going on. Here's what's working. Here's what's not. Here's where it's going. Here's where it should go. I find that really refreshing.
Well, yeah. I mean, like you can't, you can sell people only so many times, right? Like, a used car dealer will sell you a car. He's not going to sell you another car next month and another one in a year, another one in 5 years, because unless he's selling you a good vehicle, you're just not going back. And the same goes with journalism, I think. When you're being sold a bill of goods, you figure it out pretty quickly and you say, okay, well, so I can't trust them anymore and I move on somewhere else. So we've got a couple of companies that we do business with that we've, shaken by the neck a couple of times. Amped Ventures is one that I think you've talked to Anthony Brown recently.
Yes,
I put out a piece last week and said it's time for AMP to put up or shut up. And within a few days, they announced a big contract with a company that does the effects for like The Mandalorian and Boba Fett and, a bunch of Disney Plus productions. So I think that we have a dual duties. Our duty is to inform people of what we think is a good investment, but also to crack the whip a couple of times and make sure that those good investments are actually doing what they say they're going to do. And if we don't do that, then we're out of business pretty quickly. People lose their money. And when people lose their money, they don't come looking to us anymore. So, it's incumbent upon us to make sure that everyone who reads our website has an opportunity to get rich.
Yeah. And that's what brought you and I together initially in terms of us working together, because we've been friends for a long time. You and I have known each other for, I mean, the last couple of years have been the longest decade of our lives, but it's actually been about 10 years that we've known each other. And we always aspired to work together. And then the pandemic hit as soon as we started working together. So it's almost like we need to reintroduce ourselves as to why First Glance with Jody Vance happens, why Equity Guru and Jody Vance are, you know, fighting together to open up the doors for those who, as I used to say off the top of my segments, aren't necessarily the expensive suits and the pocket square set, right? Like making investing accessible, a place where you aren't going to walk in and go, this is a pump and dump. Everything here is just to get to there, and then everybody's going to walk away, and some people getting rich.
A difference between investing and trading, and there's a difference between investing and high risk, high reward trading, investing. You know, like it's good to have a pension. It's good to have money socked away so that in your golden years you'll have enough cash to keep you liquid. But it's also good to get out of the doldrums, right? Get out of the ditch. A lot of us weren't born into wealth. We had to scratch and claw and earn and go and do our second and third jobs and smile at people at Earls and get tips. And you know, you don't always want to be scratching. At some point, you want to be thinking, do I roll the dice on something and maybe take a chance at getting something big? So a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with, yeah, there's a chance that a small cap Canadian pubco can go belly up. It happens sometimes, even with the best of intentions. But there's also the chance that a company that you can buy in at 10 cents or 20 cents can actually hit the big one, and you can cash out 10 times more. So I always sort of tell people, like, if you can make $5,000 a month doing whatever and put $1,000 of that away into a good, solid, not going to go anywhere investment that's going to pay off forever, and then another $500 in something that's a little bit more risky, but which you have a good amount of due diligence in, and you think, I have a feeling in my heart that this thing could actually do well. And if it does well, then I'm going to 10 times my money instead of making like 8% a year. I think people look at penny stocks and think, well, that's just gambling. And it is, but so is everything, right? Like, so is working. You gamble that you're going to get paid at the end of the month. I always sort of look at, like, if I'm on my deathbed, how much would I pay for an extra hour of my life? Right? I'd probably pay $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. But now at age 50, we go and sell hours of our lives to our employers for, you know, $30, $50. And so I kind of think, you know, I want to be in a place where I get to a certain age where I'm not having to sell hours of my life anymore. I'm able to basically pay for them myself. And in investing, you know, even in a high risk, high reward thing, that might buy me a year, might buy me 2 years. It's well worth going in.
I love that about you. I'm going to take you right back. You worked at Earl's too? Because I worked at Earl's.
No, I didn't work at Earl's. I went to Earl's the first time when there was the wooden parrot days, you know, and they had.
Yeah, I was a hostess at 17. I'm 55. So there you go. And then I worked in the kitchen before I got my culinary red seal before getting into journalism. Something to fall back on.
I didn't know you had a red seal.
I did.
Amazing.
I went to culinary school.
What's your go-to dish?
Oh, I went to French culinary school, but my go-to dish is not French. I made one hell of a roast beef dinner for Thanksgiving with Yorkshire pudding and the full. Oh yeah, I'll send you a picture next time. I'll make them for you. If you ever want to come for dinner.
I make the world's best nachos.
I love a nacho.
Certified, the world's best nachos. Secret ingredients and everything.
Secret or
secret? All right, I'll tell you. Okay. Pasta sauce. Pasta sauce. It's so easy.
Everyone's That's unbelievable.
Pasta sauce. It's the right everything.
It's the right everything. I mean, why wouldn't you?
You can throw some salsa in, you can put veggies in, you can put some spices in, but it's the pasta sauce that ties everything together and keeps the cheese from getting all lit.
Okay, I'm so hungry now. Okay, another of your favorite things, and also your superpower, something that I eventually, I feel you will bring me around to, is you love wrestling.
Pro wrestling is fun as hell. Yeah, we've been doing it for a year now in Nation Extreme Wrestling in Vancouver. We've been doing shows at the Commodore. We've done shows at the Studio Nightclub, Vancouver Convention Center. We did them at Nat Bailey Stadium recently, which was fun.
That was super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're about to announce a new deal. We're pulling back a little bit on the live shows just because we've got some stuff to organize. I think that there's been a general sense around the wrestling community that, oh no, here they've run out of money, they're shutting things down. It ain't that. We got something coming that is bonkers, and in order to do it right, we've got to like pull back and put some time and effort into it. But it's going to take things to the next level. And man, anyone who's been to one of our shows at the Commodore will know that for $30 or thereabouts, you're getting 3 hours of high voltage entertainment, watching people do things to themselves that I wouldn't necessarily want my family doing to themselves. People coming off the balcony, people coming off ladders. It's insane. And when I compare it to every other sports entertainment in town, there's nowhere where for $30 you can get the sort of entertainment that you can get at one of our shows. You got to watch the Canucks and pay $100 for nosebleeds and $15 for a beer and $25 for parking. But at NEW, it's like you're just at the Commodore. You're having a blast, and there's a wrestling show happening. Like, what could be better than that?
Rob Fay.
Rob Fay is the machine. He's a maniac.
That's what makes it better than that. Yeah. That was the answer.
It all. Like, when we started out, we had a guy who was the ring announcer who's like a UFC guy, and it was like, yeah, this is great. This sounds great. But then one day, Rob went in the ring and ended up with a sea of beer cans being thrown at him. And we just realized, the boss is actually the right guy to be in the ring for this stuff. Like, he'll walk in with a Leafs jersey on in the middle of Vancouver and tell the crowd why the Canucks suck. And next thing you know, there's a shower of water bottles. And his reaction when one whizzed right by his head was typical Vancouver fan. When it counts, you can't make the shot.
Oh! On that note,
damn.
Get back to your hot tub, man. Let's do this again. We'll circle back on the other side and get some updates from the guru himself, Chris Parry. If you're not following him on Twitter, you're missing out. And go to equity.guru, of course, to get more of this.
Also, though, catch Jody Vance on Check TV. Stealing Vance.
Right. Thursday nights at 8. It's going really well. It's going really well. Yeah, we're finding our audience, as they say. When I'm walking down the street now and people are going, stealing Vance. 5 episodes in.
Right.
Surprising. Yeah. The place where
what's great about it, and this is something that you can't just like program. You guys look like you're having the best goddamn time. Yeah. That comes through and into the audience, right? Like, there's so much TV where it's just like, oh, you guys look like you are totally dragging your ass through this. You guys are just having a party, and
there's wine, there's chips, you should come on one day.
I would totally
give the 411. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. But you're gonna have to put on a shirt. I know. See, there he goes. Say goodbye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.